Once again, thank you very much for being here. We're less than 24 hours from kickoff, and just gives me great honor to introduce the coach for the UCLA Bruins. He is no stranger to El Paso or to the Sun Bowl. He was here as assistant coach with Oregon in 2007 before he became the head coach, and then moved on to the Eagles. And now he's back in college at UCLA at our conference that we've had for we've been almost 25 years with the Pac-12. So you're not here to listen to me. I'm going to hand it over to Coach Kelly. Coach, pleasure to have you here.
Thanks, Brian. Good afternoon. I just first want to thank Bernie and Robert for the hospitality that everybody in El Paso has shown us the last couple of days. It's it's the one thing that really makes the Sun Bowl special is the people that are involved in it. It's everyone in our group. The deep, heartfelt thank you for how you treat everybody, and it's just awesome to be a part of this bowl game. So there's a reason this bowl game is the second oldest bowl game, and the reason it will continue is because of the people behind the Sun Bowl. And it's been an awesome experience for our team, and we're excited to go play a real good Pitt team tomorrow.
Coach, any updates on player availability?
Now we meet tonight with our trainers and get all that information. So we literally just get off the field. Some of our guys are still coming back, so I don't have any updates on anybody.
Any problems with parents getting in with the Southwest flight?
We've seen some of our parents trickling in. I know Jake Bogle's parents drove 12 hours. They got about 12 hours away and then decided to jump in a car and get here. And there are parents trickling in. So I think it's been an issue all over the country. So we're hoping that we can get the whole full allotment here by game time tomorrow. So.
Everybody still went through practices today, Coach?
Yep.
How excited is the team ready to get this game underway?
I think they're really excited because, Bo Calvert broke our team down at the end of training today and just, talked about this is the last time this group of guys will be together. There's some guys that are moving on, their eligibility's up and they're all done, but it's a special group and it's been such a joy to coach this group. They're the best thing they do is every day, and the hardest thing they do is every day, but they've been the same group every single time we get an opportunity to get in the meeting room with them or on the practice field with them or in games with them. It's just been a lot of fun, and they enjoy being around each other. There's a love and a bond on this team that's really special. So they're excited to strap it up and play one more game. So and we know we got a really good opponent in Pitt, so that's what I think is going to make tomorrow really entertaining.
Running the football, obviously, it's been something that your teams have done well for a long time, but specifically to this team, why have you been able to run it as well as you have this year?
I think it takes all 11. We have an outstanding offensive line that Tim Drevno does a great job with it. The group of running backs that we've been able to roll through. Obviously Zach is the leader in that group, but the other guys have really contributed. Zach didn't play when we played against Arizona State. We still ran for 400 yards in that game. And then when you have a quarterback that can be +1 in the run game, and the threat that Dorian has with his feet, and then the group of tight ends we have and the wide receivers and how selfless they are, whether it's pass play or run play, that they're going to give it their all. So it takes 11 guys and it's a coordinated effort, and they understand that you got to run the ball to win, and that's always been kind of what we hang our hat on here.
Coach, so often you see defense win championships or games, and that fact, obviously Pitt are a really good defensive team, and you guys are one of the best offensive teams in the country right now. How do you see that one kind of playing out?
Yeah, that's the chess match that will go on, and they're so well coached. Pat's a defensive head coach, and then Randy Bates, who I actually coached with a long time ago in New Hampshire, their defensive coordinator. They do such a great job with that scheme. Their players are really sound. They don't really give up any big plays. They're always where they're supposed to be. They fit off each other really well. So, I think that's one of the matchups to keep an eye on tomorrow is the UCLA offense versus the Pitt defense.
You coached against Coach Narduzzi at the SDS level a while back, and you talked about that earlier this morning. Just what do you remember about 25 years ago when you guys were going up against each other back then?
Not much as I got older, but Pat was an assistant at Rhode Island when I was an assistant at New Hampshire, and they had a great staff there. Floyd Keith brought a lot of really good football coaches in there, and New Hampshire's always had a bunch of assistants that have gone on to be successful. But running into Pat recruiting and knowing that it's not a surprise to me that the success he's had in his career. 25 years ago he was one of those assistant coaches that you said, hey, this guy's going to be a special coach wherever he ends up, and he's obviously done that in his career path and everywhere he's been, whether it was a defensive coordinator at Michigan State or the head coach at Pitt. He's done a great job in all these stops. So it's fun to catch up with him. I hadn't seen Pat in a little bit. It was good to catch up with him in some of the events that we have between both teams. So.
What's the challenge of preparing for a team that's probably personnel-wise going to be a lot different in this game than they have been all year because of all their opt-outs?
Yeah, I still think if you go back and look at games in years past and then go seasons past, Pat's defensive scheme is Pat's defensive scheme. He's done such a great job of recruiting to it. that we anticipate the same scheme. Obviously, you don't have as much film on some of the guys that will be playing, but the scheme is going to be the same thing, and the scheme's difficult, and they do such a good job with it. And then obviously with Coach Signetti and their offensive staff, it's their first year together. Mark Whipple, their offense coordinator last year, left and went on to Nebraska, and then Coach Signetti came in from Boston College, and he does a great job. He's been around a lot of places. I know a lot of people that have worked with him and know him really well. And again, you're really facing the schemes that both Coach Signetti and then Coach Arduzzi and Coach Bates have.
When you started at UCLA, you went 3-9 on the season. You've now gone 9-3 with a chance to get 10 wins. Did you think the turnaround would kind of take this long?
I don't think you put a timetable on anything. It was just we have a bunch of kids that are really awesome to coach. They understand what our school is about. It's the #1 public institution in the country. They accept the challenge of going there academically and thrive. They have thrived in it. We have 20 graduates on our team that are in grad school. This past fall they graduated already before the season started. So this team does it on the field and off the field, and it's when you have that type of guys together, the success we've had both in the classroom and on the field, I always think that they correlate. And as our academics have increased, our win totals have increased.
A lot of the guys you started with in that first year are kind of playing their last game for you tomorrow. What would it mean to win a bowl game with some of those guys?
Yeah, it would be a great way to send them off. They've done so much and have meant so much to this university that, that group that we came in with 5 years ago, now this is the last game that we get to play together. And they've been through a lot, just as everybody's been. They were together during the COVID season. We were really kind of shut down for about 18 months on campus, and everything was done remotely. We did a lot of Zoom meetings and all those other things. And then at one point in time, when we got back, we were really the only people on campus because school itself was shut down. But they bonded and grew close as a group, and it's fun that we're going to get one more opportunity. But it'll be bittersweet because it's to know that they're moving on. There'll be some tears shed tomorrow.
What's this trip been like for you compared to how it was 15 years ago when you came with Oregon?
That's a good question. I think the one thing that, and I remarked when we were here last time in 07, was when you always talk about the Sun Bowl, was just what the people are like. And they didn't disappoint this time either. They're just fantastic. And I think how Bernie and his crew do everything is just first class in every manner. So it's really been similar from that standpoint. I think we've had a couple different events. We may have been some other places last time, but what they do and how they take care of the families and the players is just awesome.
Chip, what makes Zach such a special player?
I think Zach's consistency and his approach to everything is really, he's obviously an unbelievably talented player. But if you watch his work ethic and his approach, Zach's not on our punt team, but he practices at guard on our punt team. No one ever told him to do it, but when we go to individuals and yell punt and we do our individual work, he's with the guards taking footsteps and working and doing different things because that's Zach. Like, there's not a period in practice where he's not working and doing something. So whether it's any special team we have, and he hasn't been on any of our 4 core special teams, obviously because of the load that he carries at running back, but he practices them every day. And it's his consistent approach and his work ethic that I think is what separates him and makes him such a great player.
How about for you to coach a player like that?
It's really easy. Really easy. He's the same every day. You don't have to try to pull teeth or motivate him on why we're doing what we're doing. Is that there's a constant inner drive for Zach to be better than he was the day before. And so really I think the challenge is for us as coaches is to make sure that we can keep up with him because he sets the bar pretty high.
Are you going to take a frosted flakes spot if you guys win?
I'll take anything if we win. So I'm good. You throw mayonnaise, chips, Cheez-Its, I don't care. If we win, we win. That's the bottom line. So.
Evidently, their quarterback's a little more mobile. Coach Narduzzi was saying than the one they played all year. Does that change your preparation at all, facing a little more mobile guy?
Yeah, you always have to account for the quarterback and his ability to move, and he's a little different than Keaton, and we understand that. So our defensive scheme will take that into account.
Any other questions? Chip, Pitt has been hit pretty hard by the opt-out situation going on. How is your team? Do your team have any for this game? And if not, why not?
I think it's the type of players we have. They love playing football, and I think all situations are individual. So I can't comment on what Pitt's situation is or our situation is, but our guys are excited about playing the game. It's really as simple as it is.
Everybody playing then?
As long as we get to tomorrow at noon kickoff.
Okay.
They don't get tripped up in the parking lot.
Thank you.
Any others? Thank you very much, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Good, thank you.